I have really been drawn to Gothic horror lately, and the one that I just finished was incredible. It follows the remaining members of a disbanded cult, and it is a phenomenal intersection of paranormal and psychological horror. I need to give a very big thank you to the Nerd Fam for the advanced reader copy of this one. It is Vervain Hollow by Catriona Silvey, and it is on shelves today, June 16th. Our main character and the other survivors of the cult only escaped because the home that they were sharing burned down. At that point, they all scattered, and Laura has just kind of been floating through life since then. She no longer has the direction nor the power of their former leader, Vervain. And no one has seen Vervain since the fire happened. But after being back in reality for a couple of years, Laura gets a call from her former best friend and former member of the same cult, saying another member has gone back looking for their leader, and no one has seen this member since. So Laura joins the small group of survivors who are returning to the scene to see what's left. Some of these people are looking for reassurance that Vervain and that creepy house that they used to live in are gone. Laura, on the other hand, would do anything to get that back. This one does have a very slow start that is typical for this subgenre, but do be expecting it going in. Roughly the first quarter is setup, and the elements of horror at that point are still very subtle. We have a fair number of characters and a very unusual setting that we need to familiarize ourselves with first before that creeping horror can really take hold as thoroughly as it does. By the halfway point, I did not want to put this one down. I was flying through pages, and when I did have to set the book aside for a little bit, it was constantly on my mind. By the time readers catch on to the entirety of what's happening in this narrative, you're going to be far too invested to stop. And honestly, I think that is a fantastic way to tell a cult story. It also ends up as a fantastic allegory for addiction and addictive tendencies, and at least one of our characters is struggling with that. The vast majority of our characters end up where they are in the first place because they have a wound to heal. What the cult members end up finding are these bursts of absolute euphoria while their life force is slowly draining from them. Like I said, perfect addiction allegory. Even though we are alternating between parallel timelines with the past and the current, the story still feels very linear, and very slowly the pieces are more and more revealed. It's beautifully well done. I had such a good time with this one. I fell fully into this story and dove all the way through. Honestly, I will be very surprised if this one does not get picked up for a screen adaptation. It is so vivid, so visceral. I loved that creeping horror. This is a great example of the Gothic horror genre. Really scratched that itch. Like I said, Vervain Hollow is on shelves today, June 16th, and available through all your favorite booksellers. There is a longer, more in-depth write-up of all of this, along with all content warnings, available on my website at writing.hallidaynelson.com. And I want to know what you are reading too, because no matter how big this TBR pile behind me gets, I'm gonna let it keep growing. Happy reading.